is just good.
The next book I'd like to share with you by Patricia Polacco is called Thunder Cake. And this one's especially fun to read to Bridgman students because this takes place in Michigan. Her grandma, she talks about when she was scared during storms, and her grandma helps her by having her help bake a thunder cake. And we know how Michigan storms, the thunder and the lightning can be kind of scary, so I thought you might like this one. So, Thunder Cake by Patricia Polacco. And I believe she has, this is for my babushka Carly with love. Babushka is also a name for grandma. It's for a scarf, but also for grandma. I think because grandmas would wear scarves like that in old Russia, so they had the same name. Okay. On sultry summer days at my grandma's farm in Michigan, the air gets damp and heavy. Storm clouds drift low over the fields. Birds fly close to the ground. The clouds glow for an instant with a sharp crackling light, and then a roaring low tumbling of sound of thunder makes the windows shudder in their panes. The sound used to scare me when I was little. I loved to go to Grandma's house. Babushka, as I used to call my grandma, had come from Russia years before. But I feared Michigan's summer storms. I feared the sound of thunder more than anything. I always hid under the bed when the storm moved near the farmhouse. This is the story of how my grandma, my babushka, helped me overcome my fear of thunderstorms. And here is a picture of the farm in Michigan. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is thunder cake baking weather, all right. Looks like a storm coming to me." See the clouds? "Child, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. She's hiding under the bed. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house, rattled the windows, and made me grab her close. "Steady, child," she cooed. "Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today." "Thunder cake?" I stammered as I hugged her even closer. "Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand?" she asked. "We need to know how far away the storm is so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be real thunder cake." See the little cat over here? Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance. Then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "Here it is, thunder cake." She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. "Now, let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then thunder roared. 10 miles, it's 10 miles away," Grandma said as she looked at the sky. "About an hour away, I'd say." "You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs careful like," she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen? I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs, Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I counted 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. Milk from old Kick Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kick Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted. Boom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar and flour from the dry shed. She looks a little scared. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly, the lightning slit the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I counted. Boom, ba-boom, crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. Can you imagine walking in the woods when it's starting to thunderstorm? It would be scary. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept into the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom. The thunder bellowed. It was dark and I was scared. I'm here, child, Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't got much time. We've got everything but the secret ingredient. "3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries," Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I counted. Kabang, ba-ba-ba-room. The thunder growled. We hurried back to the house and the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3, and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have real thunder cake. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why, you aren't afraid of thunder. You're too brave, she said as she looked right at me. I'm not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed. The light just went off. Remember? But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. You got milk from old Kick Cow. You went through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis in the barnyard. From where I sit, only a very brave person could have done all them things. thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. Just then, the lightning flashed, and this time it lit the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and ba-ra-ra-roomed just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed. Just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of our thunder cake. As rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. Then the thunder roared above us so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards. We just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. And here is the actual recipe for their thunder cake. You can also look it up on Google, My Grandma's Thunder Cake. And you should be able to find it there if that's something that you want to do while you are at home during this time of break. Grandma's Thunder Cake.